Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today to learn more about fostering with PAWS. Please just remember to keep yourself on mute. Today's session will be recorded and we will have time for questions at the end. So if you could hold them until then, that would be great. We estimate this presentation will be about 30 minutes and then I will be available for questions. My name is Tammy and I've been the foster manager at PAWS since 2020. Prior to that, I worked for the city's intake shelter, ACT Philly, in the life-saving department for 4.5 years, and then for the Jackson Galaxy Project for a year. I am also a foster parent, and I truly believe in the life-saving power foster care provides to homeless animals. So just a few things we're going to cover today. During today's presentation, we're going to tell you more about PAWS, what foster care is, why foster care is so important, and more about PAWS Foster Program. We will also answer the most frequently asked questions we get about fostering and how to get started. After this presentation, we really hope you will consider signing up to foster with PAWS. PAWS is a completely donor-funded nonprofit, and we are the largest rescue partner of the city's intake shelter, ACT Philly. Our mission is to save Philadelphia's most vulnerable pets. As soon as we have open space, we either rescue animals from ACT Philly or take in animals directly from the community by appointment to help ease the burden put on ACT. We take in both owner surrenders and animals found as stray. We also offer affordable vet care through 2 clinics, one in Grace Ferry and the other in Northeast Philly. We have 2 adoption centers open, one in Old City and the other at the PetSmart at Broad and Washington Ave. As a fully donor-funded nonprofit, we truly rely on our community support. There are so many ways to support the work we do, including adopting, fostering, donating, volunteering, and sharing our information both through word of mouth and on social media. So what is foster care? It may seem like a simple question, but if you don't fully understand what foster care entails, I hope we can answer all your questions today. By carving out a little space in your home and making a temporary commitment for just a few weeks, opening your heart and home to a foster pet truly saves lives by getting pets out of a stressful shelter and back into home environments. It also opens a kennel so that we can save another animal. Our ability to save animals is directly tied to the number of foster homes available. Fostering is a rewarding and fun experience full of cuddles and kisses, which makes the time, energy, and hard work completely worth it. Plus, you get to help an animal blossom right before your eyes, all thanks to your care and dedication. Just remember that goodbye is the goal so that you can foster again. If you keep all of your foster animals, then you won't have the space, time, or resources to continue to help. While some animals take a bit longer than others to find their forever home, our team is committed to helping you find their perfect match. We desperately need foster parents ready to build their skills, learn and grow from each experience, and continue to foster over and over again. Foster care is crucial because Philly is constantly overwhelmed with animals in need, with more arriving at shelters each day. Every shelter building has a capacity on the amount of space and number of animals they can humanely care for at one time. The problem can't be solved with more kennel space or extra funding, though both are still critical. More than anything, what the animals need are foster heroes like you. Even with dedicated volunteers and enrichment, a shelter is not a natural environment. The shelter will always be more stressful than a home, and while shelter space provides a temporary safety net, it's not a long-term solution for the animal's mental and physical health. There are many other benefits to moving shelter animals into loving home environments with dedicated foster caregivers. This includes an opportunity to better know their personalities and needs, which in turn leads to better adoption matches. It also provides the animal more one-on-one attention and care than we are able to provide at a busy shelter. A foster home not only provides the animal's quality of life, but also makes space for another animal in need to take their place. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about PAWS Foster Program, including our locations, the support, resources, and supplies we provide, and how we match you with a foster animal. I'm going to quickly touch on our building locations and how they relate to our foster program. PAWS Foster Office is located at the Grays Ferry Shelter location, along with the majority of our animals in need of foster care, including all of our dogs. We often have cats at the Old City Adoption Center that would benefit from foster care, even though they've been cleared for adoption. They may be shy or not thriving, or they may have mild medical issues that just popped up. All other cats are located at our Grays Ferry location, including all kittens, nursing moms, cats with ringworm, all of our sick, injured, senior animals, and adoption candidates that are waiting for surgery or a spot to open at an adoption center. This is also the location where our veterinarians are based out of. For foster animals, all medical care for illness, injury, and scheduled rechecks needs to be done through our foster walk-in clinic with our veterinarian at the Grays Ferry location. At this time, we don't have the ability to do this at Grant Avenue, but both vaccine boosters and spay-neuter surgery can be scheduled at Grays Ferry or at Grant Avenue. We currently have 2 adoption centers for cats, the Old City Adoption Center at 2nd and Arch, and the PetSmart Adoption Center at Broad and Washington. If you foster a social, confident cat, you are welcome to place them at one of our 2 adoption centers once they're healthy. This can be a good way to increase their exposure to adopters while also opening up your foster space to help another cat. We've really tailored our foster program to support the animals' needs, along with the foster parents caring for them. If you've never cared for an animal in your home before, don't worry. We can teach you everything you need to know. PAWS provides you with all the support you'll need for your new foster friend, including a team of amazing foster and adoption coordinators ready to check in and provide advice through the process. Plus adoption support to help you find the right match, along with free medical care at our daily walk-in foster clinic, tailored to treat common medical issues, along with an emergency contact phone for true emergencies. We also have a whole website full of resources, as well as a foster Facebook group for added support and announcements. PAWS also provides routine care to foster animals for vaccines, spay-neuter, deworming, and microchipping, which are all done by appointment and are free. We really try to guide you through the foster process and are here for you from beginning to end. Thanks to our generous supporters who are excited to help you, we are able to provide and loan some of the supplies you will need to foster. For kittens, including bottle feeders, we provide a starter supply of formula, wet and dry kitten food, baby wipes, bottles, and bedding. For cats, PAWS provides a starter bag of dry food and cat items we can loan, including heat discs, playpens, scales, and cat carriers. Cat supplies we ask foster parents to provide as needed include cat litter, food long-term, both wet and dry, appropriately sized litter boxes, litter scoopers, cat carrier, playpen, beds, bowls, a heat disc or heating pad, as well as toys, enrichment, and scratchers to teach them to play and scratch appropriately. We're happy to make recommendations for any supplies you may want to buy, and you can always ask if we have any donations available. For dogs, we will send you home with everything you'll need, including a crate, harness, leash, enrichment supplies, toys, treats, and a starter bag of food. We ask foster parents to provide food long-term, along with any additional supplies you think your foster dog may need. Our goal is to match you with a foster animal that will be a good fit for your home and schedule. We will go over different types of fostering shortly, but it's important to keep in mind that oftentimes we don't always have background information on every animal, and it can take time for illnesses or behavior challenges to arise. This is why we really rely on foster parents and their help so we can work together through any issues that pop up and then find them the right adoption fit. To promote animals in need of foster care, we use a few ways to get in touch with you, including individual emails, Facebook posts, urgent email blasts, and quick form submissions. But you are definitely encouraged to email us directly when you're ready to take home a new foster animal. If we don't have a good match for you at the moment, we'll surely work to find you one. There's definitely no shortage of animals in need, especially during the busy summer months like right now. Now we're going to take a few minutes to answer the questions we get asked most frequently, and there will also be time at the end for you to ask questions you may still have. The time commitment can vary based on the animal's age, medical conditions, and behavior needs. Some foster animals may only need a few weeks of foster care, while others may need several months. Unless you're foster sitting for another foster parent or giving a stressed dog a break from the shelter, we ask fosters to expect at least a 3-week commitment, if not a little longer. And there are some animals that turn out to have medical or behavior needs that may take a few months to work through as we find them the right adoption match. Long-term fostering is to commit to caring for an animal until they're adopted with no definitive timeline or end date set. This is our biggest need since it provides the least amount of bouncing around for the animal, giving them stability. Plus, it gives our team more time to focus on supporting you and saving more animals. If you do have a timeline or a date, travel plans coming up, if you just communicate that to us clearly from the beginning, we can use that information to help find you the best fit. There are other super helpful temporary options that we'll go over shortly. And for those of you who like to change things up, like me, you're welcome to foster long-term when you can, and then help with these other options in between. No matter what, our goal is to support you and to keep the foster process moving. We do our best to be flexible, but we need your help. And while we never want you to feel stuck, our animals truly depend on you. As you'll see in the next few slides, there are many options to succeed at fostering. All right, so just see a couple different, we're going to go over a couple different populations that we have that need foster care. The first population is kittens. So just to touch on kind of each population and their needs. We have bottle feeder kittens often in need of foster care. These are newborns to 4 weeks old. They need to be fed every 2 to 4 hours with a bottle, and they need to be stimulated to go to the bathroom. You also need to ensure that they're warm and that they're gaining weight. The two things are also very true for pretty much any age kittens. The next population are orphaned weaning kittens, and weaning means learning to eat on their own. They start eating on their own usually around 4 weeks old. They need to be fed wet food or a slurry mixture of wet food and formula every 4 to 6 hours. And you need to start introducing a small litter pan so that around 3 to 4 weeks old is when they start naturally using the litter pan. Some kittens take a little longer than others. The next population are kittens eating on their own. Typically, kittens are fully eating on their own around 5 weeks old. Of course, if they're sick or their nose is stuffy, they have a little bit of trouble. But usually around 5 weeks, they'll start eating completely on their own. They need plenty of wet food, wet and dry, and they are allowed, they can eat as much as they want. Again, they need a small litter pan with non-clumping litter. Clumping litter has a harmful ingredient in it that if kittens ingest it, like when they're playing, if they ingest the litter, it can mess up their digestive tract. So we recommend non-clumping litter until you're sure that they're not eating their litter. And then playtime and socialization is really important at this age. We have plenty of nursing moms and kittens coming in, especially this summer. So that is a big need that we have. Mom cats need to be able to eat as much as they want to keep up their strengths. You know, they're feeding all the kittens. They need a quiet nesting place, quiet room with plenty of nesting places, nesting options, and just a foster who remembers that they have lots of hormones running through their bodies, so they might be protective. They can be very friendly. Sometimes they can be fearful, and they are very sensitive to noises in the home. So if you have other pets, just being conscious of that. The other thing about nursing moms that's really important to keep in mind is that if they get sick, sometimes they need help from foster parents, help in feeding, supplemental feeding if needed, if they can't care for their kittens. So that can be a big commitment if the mom cat ends up not feeling well. And then we have kittens that need socialization. And these are fearful kittens who have not been exposed to people, and they need somebody dedicated to socializing them. We have lots of resources, and our whole team are very experienced in this, so we are here to help you through it. It's very rewarding. You got to provide plenty of hiding spaces. You want to make sure that you go at their pace and don't force any touch or being held. And using positive reinforcement and stinky food options are definitely the way to go. And just a note, kittens can be spayed or neutered at 6 to 8 weeks old. We safely spay neuter at 1.5 pounds. Then they can be promoted for adoption. So typically kittens need between 2 and 8 weeks of foster care. It just really depends on their age when they go into foster care with you and their health. So the next population that we need help with are adult cats, or teens and adult cats. Medical cats, they range of all ages. They're usually recovering from mild to severe illnesses or injuries, or as issues pop up. Sometimes the medical issues turn out to be chronic or senior-related medical issues that need long-term treatment. We do have a large senior cat population with one or multiple medical issues, but they're some of the most amazing cats. And then we do focus a lot on injured and sick animals, saving them from the City Shelter Act Philly. So it can range from easy things like wounds or infected eyes that eventually need to be enucleated, which means removed. Leg amputations are common. I know it sounds drastic, but they bounce back so quickly and they get adopted very quickly, and we call them tripods. So we do see a lot of illness and injury, and those cats recover really well in foster care. We also have cats that need behavior support. So whether they're under-socialized or shy cats, some are just really stressed out by being in the shelter and need to get out of the shelter environment to succeed. Some are a bit under-socialized, need a little bit more work. We also have higher energy, mouthy, overstimulated cats who need more enrichment and playtime, along with more space. Being in a small kennel is just not good for them. They've got a lot of pent-up energy. Ringworm cats is another population we need help with. We have a dedicated ringworm ward in our shelter, but being in a home, they get way more one-on-one attention. So we really like to move them out, because then we can save more ringworm cats from Act Philly. There's never a shortage of cats with ringworm. Ringworm is a skin fungus that is contagious to people and other animals, but it's not deadly. It's just an annoying fungus that usually goes away within a few weeks. We provide weekly treatment on site for you. You bring the cat and we provide the treatment. It's a lime sulfur bath. We call them dip days. And we have a pre-adopt program where you can promote your ringworm foster cats for adoption before they're even done treatment. So if there's an adopter willing to take over, we will definitely go that route, so you don't have the cat for weeks and weeks. We have a program called Fast Fostering, which is we try to say about 3 weeks. This is for healthy, friendly adult cats and teen kittens. The idea is during the summertime, every kennel is full. Our entire building is full. We constantly are bringing in new animals. So if you can, even if you can just take a healthy, friendly adult cat, monitor them for kitty cold, and then request placement at one of our adoption centers, work on getting their bio and photos submitted. Within that 3-week time frame, typically they can get adopted or placed at the adoption center. And this is a really quick way to help us open a kennel so that we can save another life. And then the other option is pet sitting. So you can always keep an eye out on our foster Facebook group, is where foster parents post if they need help with pet sitting. So you can help out another foster parent, or you could give a bottle feeder foster a break because they're feeding around the clock and it's exhausting. So this is a nice way to help for a few days or a few weeks. So the next population that needs foster care, of course, is dogs. So this is very similar to our cat population. We have medical dogs that have similar issues to the cats that we went over. These are dogs of all ages and sizes. They're recovering from mild to severe illnesses or injuries. Of course, chronic and senior related issues are common as well. We do support you through that the entire time, and we will teach you every step of the way. We have dogs that need behavior support. So we do ask foster parents to be up for doing basic management in the home, behavior management. But if there's a couple things that could use behavior modification or more intense training. And we do have staff on site. We have a whole dog team, along with one specific staff member who is available for more complex behavior issues. Spike is our dog program manager, who is happy to talk anytime. So these might be under-socialized dogs, high-energy, mouthy dogs, dogs with some leash reactivity, dogs with separation issues, along with other common things that we see in our dog populations. We do get healthy, easy, small, and large dogs. It's hard to always know for sure, but there's definitely a population of dogs that get scooped up and adopted within, let's say, about 3 weeks. Most of the time, there's a chance that they remain healthy the whole time. They might come down with a kennel cough or something might pop up, but we do have that population. They also range in age. And I should mention, we also do puppies. So if you're really into fostering puppies and have that energy, please let us know, because we desperately need more puppy fosters. We have short-term, weekend, and day trips available. This is mostly for dogs that need a break from the stressful shelter, dogs that have been at the shelter for longer than usual. Right now we have a dog named Lola who has been at the shelter for several months actually. She did get 2 weeks out of the shelter, which was a blessing for her. And we got to see her personality. So she would really love another break in a low traffic environment. She does have a bit of leash reactivity that she's working on. She loves Netflix. So if you're looking for a snuggle buddy, please feel free to reach out about Lola. And then pet sitting is another option for dogs as well, often needed. We do send out an email regularly weekly that has dogs that need pet sitting. All right, so that's all of the dog population. So fostering is definitely an incredibly rewarding experience, but it can honestly be time-consuming, hard work, and pretty messy. The main responsibilities and commitment include good communication with our team and compassionate care for your foster animal. We ask that you stay in close communication with us, with our main form of communication being email, but we can call to talk things through over the phone whenever needed. We ask for frequent, open, and timely communication, including detailed, objective updates, concerns, and happy tidbits. Once your foster animal is ready for adoption, foster parents need to submit good, clear photos, videos, and personality info for the adoption promotion. You can definitely ask a creative friend for help if you need it. You will also need to chat and meet with potential adoption matches. So if talking with adopters doesn't seem like your cup of tea, we also have 2 dedicated adoption centers you're welcome to place healthy social cats at. We're looking for loving foster homes prepared to care for the animals and meet their needs, which includes ensuring that they have all their basic necessities, and for cats, providing appropriately sized litter pans, and for dogs, providing regular potty breaks, noting that house training may be needed. Other basics include food, water, comfortable place to rest, a warm space, plenty of snuggles, playtime, and enrichment. For both cats and dogs, all behavior management should use positive reinforcement methods, so no punishment, No pushing animals off of furniture, no yelling, etc. Our team is here to help you with any behavior challenges that pop up, and we have loads of resources using positive reinforcement, as well as dedicated staff members to provide support. Foster parents should be prepared to provide safe space in the home appropriate for the animals placed in your care. For dogs, we recommend baby gates as a great tool to keep them safe when outdoors, and for liability reasons, they must remain on their leash and not go to dog parks, restaurants, or high traffic areas. To keep cats and kittens safe, you need to have a designated room for them while in your care, and they need to stay inside. Foster parents should be prepared to travel to our foster clinic for booster vaccines and any medical issues that arise. Our foster walk-in clinic for illness, injuries, and rechecks runs midday every day. It's very rare that an animal remains completely healthy throughout the foster process, so foster parents should be open to learning to medicate their foster animal if and when needed. And we are always happy to talk through medical care so you feel comfortable. Most of the time, it's pretty simple. Fostering doesn't require as much space as you'd think. If you tell us about your space, our team can factor it in and provide tips when matching you with a foster animal. For cats or kittens, plan to create a safe, separate foster space with everything that they will need. A bathroom, a bedroom, an office, or a finished basement work great. But remember that a door is needed, and other pets should not be able to touch your foster cat. Ideally, the space is easy to clean and quiet. Keeping your foster cat or kitten separate and secure allows them to decompress and adjust to one room and you first before being exposed to a lot more space. It also allows you to closely monitor their health. Tiny kittens should not have access to an entire room, let alone an entire house. So large carriers or Rubbermaid bins are perfect for newborns. Playpens and bathrooms are great starter spaces when they're just starting to walk. And once they're fully mobile, they can have access to the full room, but should still be closely monitored if allowed to free roam the rest of the house. You can check in with our team if you're unsure about how to set up your space to keep them safe. And fostering dogs, even large dogs, doesn't take up as much space as you'd think. Even apartment living can work. Our team factors in your type of living space when we match you with a foster dog. You should plan to designate an area of the home for your foster dog that includes their bed or crate, and use baby gates and separate rooms to keep everyone safe. If you're open to providing plenty of mental enrichment like food puzzles, licky mats, games, along with outdoor enrichment and exercise, a dog can often succeed in any size home. Energy level doesn't always correlate to size. But there are bonuses that offer a little more to dogs with certain needs. A quiet neighborhood, a fenced yard, or space to separate your other pets in the home are nice to have, but definitely aren't required. We also rescue dogs with mobility issues, so homes with few to no steps are also a bonus. And you don't have to live in the city, you just have to be willing to come to us for your foster dog's care. For both dogs and cats, they need plenty of time to acclimate, adjust, and decompress. Giving them time and patience is crucial and can take days, weeks, or even months for some. Try not to overwhelm your foster animal, hover over them, force them to be touched or held, or raise your voice. This can cause stress and fear. Just take things slow, lower yourself to their level, speak in a quiet voice, and find their favorite treat so that they can come to you on their own terms. Start them in one area of the home, hold off having them meet new people or taking them to new places right away, and be sure to keep resident pets separate to start. That's mostly true for cats. For dogs, we asked you to do, we'll go over it shortly actually, the next slide. One of the biggest considerations foster parents have is how to keep their resident pets safe and comfortable when bringing a new foster animal home. Fostering can be done safely with the right management and slow intros. Clear communication with our team is important throughout the process. For dogs, just ensure that they're up to date on vaccines, especially because there's a risk of spreading kennel cough. We are seeing an increased amount of kennel cough come from the city shelter. We ask that you bring your dogs to PAWS for dog meet first, as well as have the ability to separate the dogs in the home if needed. You should also be prepared to manage resources in the home, including food and water bowls, toys, enrichment, treats, etc. You always want to err on the side of caution to keep everyone safe. When there are cats and small animals in the home, you will want to have safe spaces in the home for them to do introductions slowly. We do not cat test our dogs in the shelter because it's not an accurate read, so slow intros in the home are the best way to set everyone up for success. A dog should be given plenty of time to decompress first. Occasionally, we have surrender history from a previous owner that the dog lived with a cat, so that's a bonus, but slow intros are still really important. For cats and kittens, plan to keep them completely separate in a safe space away from your resident pets for a minimum of 2 weeks to reduce stress and possible disease transmission. Even better, keep them separate for the full foster process and focus on getting them ready for adoption. For cat owners, also note that we do not test our cats on intake for FIV and FELV for a good reason, we promise. So please do not introduce a foster to resident cats unless all cats have been tested for FIV and FELV and are free of all contagious illnesses. All pets should be up to date on vaccines, and resident cats really should be spayed or neutered since we are sending home unaltered cats and kittens through foster care. If you decide to have your foster cats tested, introductions to resident cats should be done slowly. Try to respect everybody's body language to keep your home safe and stress-free. And if your pets aren't a fan of cats or kittens, just keep them separate with a towel under the door. Of course, the safety and comfort of your resident pets comes first. And for that reason, it's super important to stay in communication with us, especially throughout the introduction period, so we can support you and fine-tune the approach. All right. Our team helps guide you through the adoption process and will remind you when your foster animal is ready for adoption. First, we'll ask you to tell us all about them, including submitting an adoption bio or feedback form, as well as sending us plenty of clear photos and videos that show off their personality. We really rely on this information to help find them a good match. We promote adoptable animals by sending them out on our weekly adoption emails, posting them online to the adoption websites, and when needed, sharing them on our social media pages. You are encouraged to share and tag us too. Supporters love to follow your foster journey, especially on Instagram. For cats, our team reviews all adoption applications and pre-approves them. We generally counsel adopters about animal care, but rely on foster parents to review their medical and behavior history and ensure your foster is a good match for the adopter and vice versa. Foster parents can talk with adopters via email, phone, as well as set up virtual or in-person meets. Then you can have them finalize the adoption contract and send them home. For dogs, our team helps guide you through the adoption process. We actively try to match potential adopters with dogs in our care. Our team reviews all dog adoption applications and counsels adopters to find a good match for your foster dog. Our staff has more detailed conversation about individual dogs than we do with cats. And once a match is made, we connect you with the potential adopter so you can tell them all about your dog's routine and personality. Then you can schedule an in-person meet. And if you want our team's help with the meet, you can schedule them at the shelter. Foster parents often ask, can I adopt my foster? We encourage you to really consider whether you're looking to adopt or foster, because fostering is not really trial adoption. Our dream is for foster parents to stay a part of the foster program and keep fostering over and over, since we have invested a lot of time and training into preparing new foster parents and helping them grow their skills. But adopting a foster does happen. I've done it twice, 7 years ago, but it's really important to me to continue fostering so I keep a spot open in my home. And by that, I mean I keep space, time, and resources available. for fostering specifically. I focus on goodbye being the goal and always remind myself that another family will care for and love my foster just as much as I do. If you do decide you would like to adopt your foster, please try to let us know as soon as possible and before we start adoption promotion. People often wonder if they'd be a good foster parent, but at the end of the day, what it really takes is a combination of just a few things. If you care about animals, don't mind a little hard work, value seeing how your work can improve and change their lives, are up for working with us as a team to get them healthy and big enough for adoption, are willing to learn to care for them, and are able to get to our clinic and provide any medical care needed, then you will make an excellent foster parent. And as a side note, while we completely understand that the more challenging behavior or medical issues aren't for everyone, if you're willing to learn how to work through them, it's incredibly rewarding. And we are here to teach you if you're up for trying. People often say things to us like, I won't be a good fit. Someone else with more experience, more time, or more space would be a better fit. Or I could never foster because I wouldn't be able to say goodbye. These things are really tough to hear because there really is no one else. Foster and adoption interest has dropped significantly since the pandemic boom, and the need to surrender due to true hardships has only increased over the past year. Animals are at risk of losing their lives in Philly, and to save them, we really need your help. We're getting requests every day, all day long, from people who really, really need the help. Every pet parent and foster caregiver started somewhere, and with the hands-on experience, you can definitely learn as you go. Only experience will help you gain basic skills that will make you a better foster parent. Fostering offers an amazing community full of support from caring people, including our staff and other foster parents. If you're open to learning new things, you can save a life and then grow your skills so that you can save another, and then another, and then another. But you've got to start somewhere, and just try to remember that even the best shelter environment is no match for a loving foster home. All right, now for the most important part, how to sign up. My coworker Liberty is going to put the link in the chat. Please visit that link or visit our website at phillypaws.org/foster and fill out our foster application as soon as possible. We are so desperate for new foster parents to help us carry on our mission and the work that we do. Once you submit an application, it will be reviewed within 48 hours by our volunteer team. So please keep an eye out for an email from fosterhotline@phillypaws.org, and please make sure that it's not going to your spam inbox. Then follow the links to watch our quick virtual orientation and take the simple review quiz. Once that's done, the next steps will be emailed to you, including how to be matched with cats versus dogs and how to schedule a pickup appointment. We also encourage you to email us at foster@phillypaws.org. That is the inbox that goes right to our foster adoption team, foster@phillypaws.org. Feel free to ask any questions you still have via email, and let us know if you would like to chat over the phone. During your pickup appointment in person, we can answer any remaining questions to make sure you're feeling comfortable and prepared. You got this, and we are here to help. Thank you so much for coming. And now we do have time for questions. We encourage you to come off mute or write any questions in the chat. Oh, and I do want to touch on one additional program that I didn't mention. It's a new program. It's called our Safety Net Fostering Program. It is a program that's still in the pilot stages, but it's going really well. We're offering, 2 months, typically around 2 months of temp fostering for people that it's an alternative to boarding or alternative to surrendering their pet. People who are struggling to find mostly pet-friendly housing or having a hard time. We're helping people that are going through medical issues that just need a little time. So it's really a safety net program meant to help people keep their pets and kind of keep the animal out of the shelter long term.